Hello, and welcome to building the 2024 garden. Okay, it's not the 2024 garden, but it's the garden that we were building in 2024. In this vlog-ish video, we're going to be building basically our forever garden. We figure we might as well build it to the goal size that we wanted now, instead of just building onto it every single year. So let's get into it. We decided to go 25 feet by 50 feet. So the first thing we had to do was measure that out. I tried to mow the lawn extra short in that area, and then we ended up moving it. So day one was putting in all of the fence posts. We did one per corner and then 2 on the short sides, and I think 4 on the long sides. But math was involved, so obviously we got a little bit confused. Working day 2 was tilling the space that we had marked off to be part of the garden. We rented a rototiller from Lowe's. We were going to borrow one from my parents' house, but we weren't sure if we would be able to get it working. So we got a very small one. We did not need the small one, we needed the large one. And while Jake did the rototilling, I moved our compost pile over because it was just in a very dumb spot. I did not know where we were going to put the garden, so when I built it, I assumed it would be in the garden, and it's not. So I just moved it against the fence. That way I don't have to leave the yard to throw our compost in it. We also needed to rip up the old hose system that was in place in the garden. This is where not the previous owners, but the owners before them had their veggie garden. So they had their old hose hook up there, and we have no idea how long any of these things have been there. So we figure we would have to tear them up and then replace at least the hoses. So we were trying to get all of that out so we could till and hopefully put new hoses in to get water down to the garden. Luckily, the compost was just cardboard and grass clippings at this point, and I had used the old workbench that was in the garage to build it, so nothing too crazy. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Like there?
Yep.
And then that's all going to be garden bed.
Yeah.
Oops, I spray painted my...
Ah. Day 3 was for planning out the garden beds. So we wanted to do a 3-foot wide around the edge of the garden, and then we ended up doing 4 garden beds in the center that I think were 4 feet by 6 feet or 4 feet by 8 feet. I don't remember anymore.
Oh, that's a lot.
Well, like, I mean, if I gotta, like, bring in the wheelbarrow, or you gotta bring in, like, bring in a tiller or something, just give us...
Oh, I'm never bringing a tiller.
Just bringing, like, if we have to bring anything in, then give us plenty of room. You know?
I'm saying, like, right here is probably good.
Okay. Because, like, I could always just put pots and stuff there, too.
Yeah.
Like, we need the space. Just so, like, we have plenty of, like, maneuvering.
Yeah. That was just her shoes. Yeah.
It's a lot of garden.
It is a lot of garden. But again, like, this is, you know, we're not...
We have to fill it now.
We don't have to fill it now.
We have to fill it now.
We're filling it now.
We have to fill it with plants. All seeds.
All seeds.
The plan then was to dig down about 3 or 4 inches around the garden beds to kind of establish the path. We did get a lot of help from Audrey. She was a very good helper.
What are you eating? So handsome, yeah. So handsome, yeah.
And that took absolutely forever. It was also so sunny, and just so hot while we were doing it. And it did make the garden look like a Viking burial mound for a little bit.
We just have this path left. And then we'll be saved. We planted things. It is going to rain all day today. It looks very cloudy. It's not a pretty garden, but it's a garden. So in this bed we've got tomatoes going diagonally. I'm going to put 2 posts on either side and do a string trellis. And around the tomatoes we have kale, lavender, marigolds, dill, chives, and basil. They are so tiny still, but I am hoping they pop up now that they are actually in the ground. Here is Pumpkin Mountain. Not the prettiest, but you know what? It's fine. Pumpkins are good and hardy. So around the side is we have Connecticut field pumpkins and Long Island cheese pumpkins. On top we have kale, lavender, chamomile. Along the sides I have strewn some chamomile seeds as well, and I think we have butternut squash and maybe a zucchini on this side as well. So the plan is for them to kind of just like grow around and then have like the flowers and kale on top. I think I also put some like sage and thyme and oh no, I put those in here. I put like sage and thyme in with the tomatoes. Here is my big indigo plant. I just needed to get him in the ground. He was getting so root bound. So I think eventually that corner-ish will be like a dye garden, but for now we're just gonna stick to this area. And we've got cucumbers, or I think these are the butternut squash, the honey nut squash, lavender, cucumbers, because cucumbers grow well with pepper. So we have my fish pepper plant, and then we do I've got peppers going from sweet peppers to spicy, and then planted around those we have lavender, marigolds, dill, thyme, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I did throw on this burial mound right here behind Pumpkin Mountain, I did throw just a bunch of cucumber seeds to see what would happen. So the plants are in the ground. The flowers, we don't know. TBD. I might just do this, like get this area going for the flowers. I did stick some lavender in here just because I had an extra one, so we'll see how he does. So yeah, the next goal is to put up the fence. And I did get a chip drop from chipdrop.com. I'll leave the link. You get a free dump truck of wood chips, essentially. So we're going to use the wood chips to fill in the paths and stuff to prevent weeds and even everything out. And Jake's going to build garden beds. So it's going. Yeah, I wouldn't call them domesticated. Unless it's raining, their food's not the right shape. Do you want your gloves?
Yeah, I know you have.
We'll have to get you like a tool bench pair and then like a garden pail pair.
For the fence, we ended up getting the 2x4 squares or like 1x3 squares. It said rabbit fencing on it. We do have a lot of buns in the yard. We got one giant roll of that, so the plan is to bend up the first like 8 inches of the fence and have that lay flat against the ground, and then that should hopefully deter the groundhog and bunnies from burrowing under the fence, because they'll try to do it next to the fence and there'll be wire there, so we're hoping that deters them. Turns out buying 100 feet of fence for a 25 by 50 foot garden is not enough. So we did end up having to go back to Lowe's and get some more fence.
Oh,
But before we did that, we tried to put up the gate.
Nailed it.
This was one of those no dig gate kits. It was pretty much the only thing Lowe's had that wasn't like the square chain link fence gate. And eventually we are going to make like a more aesthetically pleasing fence. We just, you know, we just need a gate, not a gate. We just need a fence.
Didn't use drill with Phillips bit to drive cell screwing into it. It just points to the bottom and says adjustment collar. That's all it says. Adjustment collar. Oh. Oh, the little screws that came from this?
Oh,
that's probably what they're for. That's smart. Yeah. Here, let me get this.
At this point, we had been in the sun for like 6 hours, so you can see us just losing brain cells.
Thinking. Here.
now that we had the fence up-ish, we decided to try and figure out the water. So there is a faucet where Jake is sticking his hand in the ground there. He's not just putting his hand in a random trench in our backyard. And there are 2 hose hookups in our basement. One in my dye studio, one in the garage. We're not sure where this pipe comes from, but it does lead into our house. And there is a little bit of water coming out, but not enough to like fill the hole. No, not enough to like get the hose going. Then we found a family of snakes. So we just looked at them for like 20 minutes.
So it makes sense for it to go like through the garage. But also, like, why would there be a sink in the murder room? Also needs water to cool it.
No.
The driveway well?
Maybe, sort of. So, the only other thought I have
Yeah.
is that this is coming off of like a French drain system somewhere.
Oh,
You know, we
yeah.
have all those down pipes at
Yeah.
our house.
Yep.
So like they have a underground tank
Yep.
up the hill
Yep.
that's gravity feeding.
I did find one exit point for one of the drains.
I know, and that's what got me thinking about it. That
Yeah.
like that exit point could be an overflow for when the tank
Yeah.
fills. So the tank fills up, it overflows out into that thing.
If that's not it, like, their hose was over there, so it's not like they had it like right angle out.
Yeah, literally. You know.
Yeah.
And after a snake hose break and another trip to Lowe's, we got the fence put up completely around the garden and a gate. She is a finished fence.
Huh? How about that? Groundhog's getting Archmates.
Not this year. Oh, let me get the dogs. That'll test it out.
Audrey instantly
Instantly borrows
digs
that
underneath one.
You ready? Audrey!
Audrey, in the
Audrey.
door. What are you doing? Come
This
on
way,
in.
this way.
In. But I don't want to be fenced in.
You can't fence me in! I'm a free range corgi. What do you think, bud? Look at the garden! Yeah.
Chip trip.
Do a couple of chip trips. Trips.
Before it's too small, she says. Before it gets too small. All right, pups.
Go left. Straight into this here.
I'm free at last.
Audrey, come in.
Once again.
But this time, my neighbor let me borrow the trailer for our tractor. The trailer for his tractor on our tractor, so I was no longer wheelbarrowing wood chips by hand down to the garden. Just wheelbarrowing them from the pile of chips outside the garden into the paths. The final step was to get water. We have no idea how the outside system works, so for now we are just going with an outside system. I went to Lowe's and picked up 3 hoses. We determined it's 175 feet from the top of the yard down into the garden, so I got 2 like regular hoses to go along the fence line, and then a collapsible hose for the bottom, and figured it would be easiest not to accidentally mow over the fence to loop it through the fence post, because we have like the farm, like ranch style, I don't know what it's called, fences, and the hose fits through where you put the horizontal post. So I just lace that through. Is that the term I want? And now when we want to water the garden, we just hook up the hose from the garage, and it travels all the way down the fence line. And this is our current garden. I love how everything turned out. There were some mild changes. We still, as of doing the voiceover, don't have the garden boxes built. It just got so hot, and Jake is working with one of his friends whose family runs a lumber yard, so we're trying to get the lumber from him and just trying to coordinate that has been a little bit, and Jake's, work has been crazy as well. So we don't have any garden beds, and the seating area that we dreamed of is where Pumpkin Mountain is. We just did not want to dig that out, and I don't blame us. We will add benches somewhere eventually. That way there's like a cute little seating area so I can just kind of like hang out in the garden eventually one day. But again, this is not the finished garden. This is just the big work the big work to get it to a spot where we can just maintain it for the rest of the time, for forever, for the rest of our lives. That seems ominous. I love having the wood chip pathways, I think it's going to be really nice to maintain. And then if we decide to do like pavers or anything over it, we have a pretty even base. The plants are doing great. They love it out there. They are thriving. Even the smallest tomato plant still only has a couple leaves, but he is doing so well. I have planted all of my flowers in along the gate line, like I had said previously, so they are officially in, and we set up a sprinkler, so we're no longer having to water by hand. We can just hook up the hose, turn the sprinkler on, and that is taking care of it. We only have the first half planted still, and it being the beginning of July, it's too late to do anything else. I might throw some like wildflower seeds in some of the beds to see what happens, but I am very happy with where we are in this. I'm so excited to continue growing things and grow new things and more things and just have my veggie garden. I've always had one growing up, and I've always wanted one in all of our apartments, and I've tried desperately in all of our apartments, so I'm just so excited to finally have a space where I can have my garden. And we already have ideas of how to not expand but decorate it next year, like do an arbor and maybe do some climbing roses over it into the entrance, set up a washing station nearby, setting up rain barrels to supplement the water. I just don't know if I want to do the rain barrels up by the house or down by the garden. We'll collect more rainwater if we use the gutters, but then we have to figure out how to get all the water to the garden. Maybe both. We can do both. I would like gardens up by the house as well. So it has been a labor of love. I have never been so sweaty, but I am so excited to see what we grow here. The dogs absolutely hate it because they try to pee on the plants and I yell at them. So there's nothing we can do about that. I think they will grow to love it as much as I have. And with this morning watering going on behind us, this is the garden vlog. Thank you so much for watching and tagging along as we expand and settle into the house. We've been here for a year officially, and I can't wait to do more projects. So if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. I put out 3 videos a month, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.